unity, performance, and safety. These are things that school uniforms are supposed to be providing for the students required to wear them. However, these children are often left feeling restricted. And it's not just in the sense of them not being able to move around as they would like. These children are feeling emotionally restricted. School uniforms are most commonly found in elementary schools and in private schools of all grade levels. And it is important for these children to be able to grow freely and express themselves. So today I will be going over the reasons that school uniforms should not be required to be worn. First, I will discuss the lack of freedom being allowed. Then I will go into how uniforms discourage individuality. And lastly, I will explain how uniforms do not benefit the students academically. In today's society, it's easier to understand why freedom of expression is so important. School uniforms don't allow the students to use their clothing as a form of expression. On September 16th, 2021, Brighter Kind published an article that basically explained how researchers have found that the clothing that people wear really affects the way that they act and the way that they feel. If some students don't necessarily feel comfortable sharing how they feel verbally, then it's crucial for them to be able to have their fashion as a possible outlet of communication or expression. Given that giving students the opportunity to dress themselves as they like would really show that the schools care for the students' overall well-being and not just their test scores. This is just one example of why uniforms cause more harm than help. A similar reason that school uniforms should not be enforced is that it accepts the loss of individuality in students. On April 1st, 2018, liveabout.com published an article that explains how kids and teens use their clothing as a way to identify themselves as part of a social group. While some people might argue that this is how cliques start in high school, the article explains that these children are feeling like they're lost, like they can't really find themselves because they're not able to dress like themselves, which, as I mentioned, prevents them from feeling like themselves. And based on the Ohio State News from December 20th, 2021, students who attend schools that require them to wear uniforms have actually reported that they feel like they don't belong to the school. They feel less of a sense of belonging compared to the students that are allowed to dress freely. Furthermore, school uniforms are sometimes gender specific. So to give you an example of what I'm talking about, I just searched school uniform on Google, and this is one of the first pictures that popped up. And as you could see, the girls are wearing skirts and the boys are wearing pants. Even on a colder day, you could see the girls are still in skirts. They just added leggings underneath or higher socks underneath. And procon.org, May 3rd, 2021, mentions that students that are gender non-conforming can feel unseen due to uniform requirements like this. And students in general are left to feel like they aren't taken seriously when they are forced to wear school uniforms. Not only do uniforms harm the students emotionally, but they don't help the students academically speaking either. Schools often give education as a reason to enforcing uniforms. However, studies have shown that there are no true academic improvements caused by school uniforms. According to Journalist Research, April 20th, 2018, the results from a study strongly suggest that uniforms are not the solution to American education flaws, as they really don't improve achievement. Behavioral problems, attendance, and test scores were all analyzed to find if there were any positive effects of students wearing uniforms. And according to Virginia Tech, March 14th, 2016, there was actually a negative effect from students having to wear uniforms. And this was on students of all ages from K through 12. The push for school uniforms should really stop, as there is no real or valid reason as to why they should be required to wear them. So within this presentation, we went over how school uniforms suppress students' freedom of expression, and the student's ability to be seen as an individual, as well as how the studies show that uniforms have no benefit on the students behaviorally or academically speaking. Given that students are going to school to learn and to prepare to be more independent, making them wear uniform can actually hinder their growth in terms of them being able to find themselves and them being able to realize who they want to be. It is more beneficial for students if they are not forced to wear school uniforms. Always consider not only the students' academic well-being, but also their physical and mental